All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Two Vintage Sports Guys. This is Joe Randacci.
And this is Paul Gallagher.
Welcome, Paul. How you doing in sunny Atlanta today?
I'm doing well. I bought a bunch of upper deck hockey cards, and I'm seeing what kind of big pulls I got out of those, and I'm watching a little March Madness. Although I don't know who's who in this whole.
All right,
It
that's a
it, it
perfect.
is amazing how much money I used to bet on this, how much I used to pay attention, how much time I used to take off work. And now I don't know who's who. So I think
So
that's a sign
you
that
didn't
I'm
even do
vintage.
you didn't even fake a bracket this year.
Didn't even fake a bracket this year. No.
So I usually I get into a bracket with like a bunch of guys and I get wiped out on day one. This year I couldn't get anybody to join and I'm at like 98% killing it. Like
On CBS,
yeah,
you're the
alone
king.
in a group with me and my awesome picks, like for once. But so if we look at the as we're entering day three here, which means it's the Thursday, Saturday games, so it'll be followed by the Friday, Sunday follow-ups. There hasn't been any major surprises other than Duke was down. Duke is the one seed,
Yeah.
was down to the 16 seed Sienas by 14 at halftime and came back and won that by 6. So a 20-point second half turnaround. My St. Johnny's with Mr. Rick Pitino beat
And then
number
where's
12.
High Point? What state is High Point
Yeah,
in?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is that?
Let me get my
Oregon?
one St. John's
Portland?
moment there.
Oh,
They finally
sorry. I
won their
shortchanged you.
second NCAA game in 20 years after last year winning one and getting knocked out by John Calipari and Arkansas. St. John's beat Northern Iowa. Kansas beats Baptist, special there. Michigan State, Dakota, UConn, number 2 seed, did struggle, but they beat number 15 seed Furman. And to your point, there was High Point,
High
which
Point.
was
There we go.
High Point. That was one of the big upsets. Number 12, High Point beat Wisconsin. Number 5 on a Sid, did you watch any of that? Do you know what happened
No,
with
the
that
only
game?
game I watched is one that I bet $200 on a game. It was the play-in game, and my son called me and said, "Can you place a bet for me?" And I did. Father of the year, that's kind of the habits I'm instilling. And we lost. So I think it's the lesson there is don't bet on things you don't know about. It was a gimme. There was a play-in game, but somebody wasn't playing who should have been playing, and it's all fixed at the end of the day. So I lost $200.
All right, well, that's the way to continue this conversation. And High Point, just to finish it, which was actually pretty cool. They went in for they stopped Wisconsin in the last few seconds, and the High Point guy kicks the ball out to one of the High Point guys who hung back. He was the only guy at the other end of the court. Grabs the ball and lays it up for 2 points. It was the guy's only 2-point shot of the year. He's a three-point specialist, and it was his only 2-point shot of the whole year.
There we go. He got lucky that night. Good for him. Good
but
for
you're
him.
You're Villanova.
Yeah, I usually have a lot of Philly teams to pick from. Back in the day, the Big Five. What was that? Penn, Temple, LaSalle, Drexel, St. Joe's. I got nothing this year. I got Villanova.
You're down in Villanova, who lost to Utah State in the 8-9 game. And
yeah.
But so far there haven't been any major upsets. I think this is going to be another year where out of the Final Four, you're going to have either 3 or 4 1s or 2s.
Yeah, it looks like it. And it has to do, and I don't know whether you've seen Calipari and some of the other guys talk about NIL and the roster spots and movement on the teams. It's gotten a little bit chaotic, and that's the rich get richer. So the number 1 seeds and the number 2 seeds are the ones that do everything. So maybe that accounts for a little bit of my lack of enthusiasm that you hear in my voice here about the whole thing.
Just to end it on this, what's become very interesting, and again, you could either love or hate this whole NIL portals, buying players, teams becoming good out of nowhere. traditional dynasties not being as great as they used to.
You
The
can't love it. You only can hate it.
The SEC, who we know kill it in football, college football, now are like contenders, like Alabama, Georgia, uh, Vandy, Tennessee are all good now, and they were never traditionally good college basketball
I realized that you moved away from Georgia, but just by saying it, I had to look out my window to make sure there wasn't SEC fans ready to pitchfork hunt you down. You're not allowed to say stuff like that in the South. So
What that
please never say that again.
That college basketball matters in the SEC.
Well, that Georgia's anything but great, and Alabama and all that. Never speak poorly of the SEC teams.
No. I'm saying they are good now in college basketball.
Yes, you're correct, because they're getting the money. The money's being shared.
But
yeah,
cards wise,
Arkansas,
if we start looking at some cards around college, what are you seeing, or what do you think?
So I think, yeah, if you like that, you go into the Topps U and the Bowman U product line. You look at, and then you start to be able to go back to our good friends at Leaf and Panini, because they have college basketball players that they market the cards to. So in that one, you really just like to go after players that you like, and maybe it's up and comers, or maybe you're a fan of a team and you collect all of that player. But I think that's the reason you're not investing per se in anything, but you're just collecting for the good old sake of collecting. And you're looking at Bowman U, Topps U, and Leaf and Panini.
Well, you were mentioning earlier about certain, it's just coming down to licensing, and why don't you explain with the Boozer twins and Leaf?
Yeah, so I think it is all licensing. That's why you've seen Topps become bigger and bigger and bigger. They have the licensing, meaning that they can actually show a player in his proper uniform, and they have that now for NBA, NFL, and baseball and F1. So when it comes to colleges and it comes to different players, the NIL allows these kids to sign with whomever they want. So I don't think you have one, university or college league anymore, but you have players that are allowed to promote themselves through, in this case, Leaf has the Boozer twins. I think that's probably one of the more exciting, duo and team. The Duke team is always exciting. So you have them, and so you're able to really pick and choose and go after the players you like, and that takes you into different markets with Leaf and Panini, which I love. I'm a big fan of Leaf, big fan of Panini. I know that that may not be a popular statement, but that's a vintage guy saying what he wants to say.
So it looks like you could just buy from Panini, to your point. Like if you're a UConn fan, you could just buy 24 cards per box, 6 packs per box, 4 cards per pack, and you could pretty much build your whole starting five.
You're going into retail, you're buying retail, you're just buying stuff off the shelf, and you're enjoying it.
Now, is it any fun? I mean, going back to why do people collect and how we used to collect. You and I, going back 150 years ago, collecting cards, for 25 cents for a pack for a stale piece of gum and 10 cards that smelled like a stale piece of gum, would collect, right? And then all of a sudden, around, what would you say, mid to late 80s, you could just buy the whole year's worth.
You'd buy the whole set. Yeah, I used to buy
the
a
whole
set
box,
for my son.
And it was 100 times cheaper. But it was no fun at that point for me.
It was mass produced, right? It was just you're just getting it to put it away in the attic, or something. It was just buying it. You're right. There was no fun to it. There was no chase, let's say, and I think that's what it all comes down to today. We're all chasing something. I have we can talk about hockey cards after this, but you're chasing something, and that's the fun of it. It's not gambling, I don't think, but it's just chasing and seeing if you can find that. It's the Willy Wonka theory that I keep coming back to, right? I'm looking for the golden ticket, or I'm looking for a nice bunch of cards in a set that I like. So I do think it's come back to that, and that's nice to see. We're all chasing what we want based on the product.
I think there's a convenience, to your point, of, if back to this UConn thing. If I'm a UConn fan, I just want to buy the whole set of the thing and be done with it.
You're in Target, you just get it and you're done, and you've gotten what you've gotten. Yeah, I think that's good.
All right, well, let's segue that into what you were mentioning with hockey cards and collecting. Give me a little hockey update as we're closing out the regular season. What do you see as
That's
some surprises or
I still would like to think that the Flyers have a chance to make the playoffs, but I'm not sure we do. But Upper Deck is by far and away the best product out there. I love it. I just bought myself 2 hobby boxes. Series 2 just came out. They don't have the tins out yet. And what we chase, talking about chasing, is we're chasing young guns. The biggest one is Schaefer for the Islanders. I did not get him, but these are the rookies. These are, or what they call the young guns. And I have had a ton of success. So, Dimitrov was one of the best ones, and I got 2 of those that came out with Series 1. This is Series 2. I've got, Jack Williams. They're all Russian, Joe. I've got Alexander Nishkin. I've got Dmitry Shimashev. I've got Max Shabanov playing for your Islanders. So it's a Russian invasion.
Oh, you
And
mentioned my 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer,
yeah,
superstar. Like,
that's the
thank
biggest
God we
one.
wound up with a number 1 pick for once, and he has kept us in the position we're in so far this whole season.
Yeah, I think if you pull his card, it's probably $300, $350 right now. So you're spending 180, and you might pull a card worth twice that. So
So that's
it's good
interesting.
times.
So if
It's
I
a
was
great
to
product in
buy,
general. Go
if
ahead.
I was to buy like just the Islander team this year, as compared to another team without a superstar or anything on it, that might be what, $30 for a set? How much would it
I don't
cost
know
me
that
to
you
have
can buy
Schaefer?
it by team. I think that takes all the fun out of it. I think you buy the hobby boxes and tins, and then you collect the players and team. I don't think you can buy just the team. So,
Well, I know
you
you
know,
can do that in baseball. You can't do that in hockey.
no, no, no. That's again, you're cutting right to the chase, taking all the fun out of things.
I,
Upper
I'm just
Deck,
call.
this
I'm just
this
saying the way it is. I've
this
bought
product
Mets
is so good
teams
that
for
you don't
years.
want
You
to do
can't.
that. No, no. You don't want to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, Joe. Nobody can tell you what to do. But you, this product has so many great things. It has silver bursts, it has gold bursts, it has inserts, canvas cards, one of ones. The even the base cards are great to look at. So I think this is my favorite product. I enjoy getting all the cards. Jack Hughes coming off the Olympics. I mean, I set aside all my Jack Hughes cards. That's
Is
like
that with or
that's
without
like
teeth?
setting aside a Shohei Ohtani in baseball, right? Just Jack Hughes, everything. I'll
Do
take
the
it.
Hughes brothers cards have teeth on them? Because they've
Oh
been
yeah,
smiling.
yeah. So when he did that, I signed up for a Tops Now product, and so I think the email came out the other day that they'll be shipping in mid-April. There's $1 million card that somebody's going to get, personalized autograph of Jack Hughes, and it's going to be $1 million.
Have coming off the Olympics with the gold for both the men's and women team. Are the girls' cards any particular card player or team
You
kicking in?
always do. You try to stump me every time, and you might have done that. I'm not as familiar. I have 2 boys that don't have girls, and I have 1 hockey player. So I'm not as familiar with them as I should be. Shame on me, but they are a great product to collect, and I know that they're out there. Um, and that's all I'll say about that, Joe. You stumped me.
All right,
You've rendered
Forrest
me
Gump of
speechless
hockey.
on a
That's all
podcast,
I
which
have to
is really
say
not
about
good.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So
All
next
right.
topic.
Well, let's round this up into what you mentioned earlier, F1.
Oh,
You're more the
F1, yeah,
guy there.
F1
Give me some
Netflix. If
thoughts.
if if you're looking for anything to watch on Netflix, the latest F1 series came out. We binge watched that last week. F1 missed 2 races in the Middle East because of the war, but everything's a bit different. It's shaken up. The F1 cards, I went to my local card shop, couldn't find any. I was a bit late to the game, didn't get any. So if you can find them, buy them. There's tons of great cards in there. So if you're an F1 fan, there's a lot going on. The season just started. Netflix special, tops product. It's really, again, if you can find it, scoop them up, and might be able to even resell them for a higher price on eBay. Um,
So what I'm
and
looking at here, thank you, Google, because I wouldn't know any of this. and let me try to hack this name.
Oh boy.
Arvind Lindblad has a 2025 Top Chrome Formula One 75th anniversary diamond that eBay is listing for a meager 24,999.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know. I don't know anything you just said. I don't know the driver. I don't know what. I don't know anything that you just said.
$25,000 for a card.
I'm not going to try to explain it. I'm not going to try and rationalize it, but that's the world we live in. Somebody likes them.
I am seeing some crazy similar cards here that.
Well, here's the thing. So what
Cole
you should
Palmer,
be looking at
him?
is, huh?
Cole Palmer. Do you know
No,
Cole Palmer?
I don't know what you're looking at. You're not even looking at F1. So you
No,
should
I
be
am.
looking
I
at
am.
Kimmy. So here's what you Google, because you have a hard time even Googling, which is a shame. Who won
Who won
the last race? So start there. Who won the last F1 race? Young fella by the name of Kimmy. 18-year-old.
Kimmy?
He's an 18-year-old F1 driver, just won a major F1 race. And his card's got to be going up in value. But again, it comes to a team. Are you team Ferrari? Are you team Mercedes? Or you team Aston Martin, which you're probably not because they're not that good. McLaren got off to a bad start at two did not starts. So it's Hamilton is great. You're going to find a ton of cards in F1. Hamilton, Verstappen, everybody. But Kimmy is an 18-year-old kid who just won his first big race. I mean,
Kimmy
you're starting.
Antonelli? Is that
Yep. See, you an Italian fella. Sure. First Italian to win in 26 years. And Kimmy Antonelli.
We'll put him on the team.
Look up his cards, what they're going for, and what they.
350.
Yeah. See? Boom. Boom. Big time.
Interesting. I'll have to start looking at some of Italian F1 cards. There we go.
Yeah, check out the Netflix special first, and it's a behind the scenes launch into the season. They made some big changes into the cars, more electric. Max Verstappen's not a big fan, calling them Mario Karts, that sort of thing. So if you've got an F1 fan,
first F1 win, Chinese GP 2026 card, $6.
$6. There you go.
That one.
But again, it's again on my theory that I will preach every single week, which is, you're not collecting cards just for the money. And if you are, God bless you, go after it. People flip houses and make a lot of money doing it. People flip cards, make a lot of money doing it. God bless you, go for it. But as a vintage old guy, I'm going to be collecting things because I like the player, I like the team, I like the sport, or in the case of Upper Deck Hockey, I like the card. I like all the cards. So not only do I like the sport, but I like everything. And then I'm chasing the Willy Wonka. I'm going for the young guns and seeing what happens. So whatever you're in it for, be in it for you.
All right, we're going to end on an F1, and with your little snide comment before, we'll end on an FU too, and we'll have to now turn this to a PG-17,
there we
PG-13. But all right, once again, for two vintage guys,
that's my vintage moment. I went for a walk. We can talk about something other than sports to close it out. Speaking of FU and kids, I went for a walk today. Should motorized bicycles be allowed on the sidewalk? Motorized. So these electric big bikes that you see people riding, kids and adults, should they be allowed on the sidewalk?
That's a tough one, because if regular bicycles are, I'm going to get that your point is they're going too fast, it can mow you down.
Some kid today on my walk, and I accidentally said "F you" to him as he drove by. So that was my classic vintage moment of the week. So we can close it on that, and we can have a little debate later. Should motorized vehicles be allowed on the sidewalk?
Well, duck and dodge, because I need you for these podcasts. So. Tuck and roll, baby. Tuck and roll.
That was my Bad News Bears coach moment of the week, where I, cursed at a kid and got chastised.
As you wear
Doing
your
so.
Chico's Bell Bonds jersey over there.
I'm waiting. I ordered 2 of them. I'm waiting for them to come in. So next show, hopefully, I'll be in my Chico's Bell Bonds jersey.
And on that, I am Joe Randacci.
And I am Chico's Bell Bond sponsor, Paul Gallagher. Have a good day.
Have a good one, folks.
Bye-bye.